We had a number of water main breaks in the town, and I just want to recognize the Water and Sewer Department employees, Rick Russo, Fred Peterman, Tim Lotz, Brian DeVay, Joseph Guzzi, Dominic Bell, and Mark Allen. The Highway Department employees, Jim Peterson, Tim Pagano, Bill Gladys, Lisa Van Fleet, Dave Olszewski, and Mike Booth. The Recreation Department, Aaron Pasalacqua, the Seneca Falls Fire Department and Fire Police, the Police Department, and specifically for the Fire Police, Nick Incarnato, and the Village of Waterloo is helping out a bit. We had the emergency connection at Thurber Drive open for approximately 8 hours. All these people were called in, and they worked basically around the clock from Friday night until Monday morning. And even this morning, they were fixing the last break to get water back to one of the buildings. I applaud all of these people and for their work and effort this weekend and coming in on a holiday weekend and working around the clock. So I think they all earn a round of applause. Okay, moving on. Approval of minutes. A, the special meeting of July 22nd, 2016. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve those.
I need a second.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. B, the regular monthly meeting of August 2nd, 2016. Motion to approve. I need a second.
Second that.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. The special meeting of August 16th, 2016. I have a motion.
Make a motion.
I have a second.
I'll second it.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And the special meeting of August 25th, 2016. I have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We have a number of reports here. The door control officer. Anyone to report out on that?
Yes, sir, I brought my report in today, sorry it was very late. Only responded to 13 calls, picked up 5 dogs, these 5 dogs, 4 were reclaimed, we still have 1 and I only issued 1 today. That's it.
Any questions?
I'll make a motion to accept the dog control.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Our zoning officer isn't here tonight. His sister gave birth to her nephew and he had to watch his niece. So I think that was a little more important in this meeting. So I excused him. His report stands here. If there's any questions, you can ask him and we'll bring them up at the next meeting. Okay. So I move to approve his report.
I'll second it.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. The Recreation Director's also not here tonight, so his report will be stand as written. Do I have a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Again, any follow-up questions can be written to him and we'll address that at the next meeting if need be. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Highway Superintendent report. Mr. Peterson, you have anything else?
Yes, Greg. We're getting ready for a second leg to blacktop. Got a few roads milled up. South Park Street, we're waiting on Finger Lake Trail. They've got some work that they have to do there, and some of the parts are coming out of Canada. So I'm going to have to hold off on that road until they can get in there to fix their rails. So that might be a couple more weeks before we get at blacktop on that, but the rest of the roads we're going to start Monday, start blacktopping them. Should be done by the end of the week.
Thank you. All in favor? Did I motion that? No. Okay, so do I have a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to accept the highway report.
I have a second.
A second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We have There is no assessor's report. As you all know, the assessor did retire. And when is the first day the interview committee is going to get together?
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, very good. And David and Annette are on that interview committee, but all members of the board are welcome to attend as observers for any of those interviews if they want to attend. But we have a small interview committee, and if you have any questions that you wish to be asked to that assessor, get with David and Annette, and I'm sure it'll find its way as one of the questions. Do you have any questions? Or okay, good luck on that, and just keep us informed as to the dates. Hey, who's the chairperson on your committee? Are you David, or are you?
Nikki's doing it.
I'm not sure. But,
We will,
well, the chairperson of that committee, please keep the board
yes.
informed.
We'll pick a chairperson out of everybody's there.
There is one listed, but I forget which one. Okay. Town Justice's report.
I'll make a motion to accept the town justice's report.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Water and sewer, the head of the water department is not here. I asked him to go and look at the problem on Miller Street tonight, and he's gathering information and data from there with Dominic Bell, head of the water department, and they'll be reporting back to the water and sewer committee. And that is, again, Annette and myself on that committee. So I'll be calling you, setting up a meeting for that, for their report back, and we'll move on that.
All right.
A motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Any second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Police chief's report. Do I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept the police chief's report.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion, chief, or questions to the chief?
Yes, Supervisor, I'd like to make a couple points to the public and everyone watching out there. On Monday, August 15th, Generations Bank, they support the DARE project in 3 different counties. And on August 15th, they presented the Seneca Falls Police Department with $1,000. That money goes towards books and other needed t-shirts and things like that go on through the DARE that help support the children. Generations Bank has been a big supporter of the DARE program. They're committed to this project for 5 years, and I'd just like to publicly thank Menzo Case and Generations Bank for that big donation, not only to us, but 3 different counties, Seneca County, Geneva PD, Ontario, Phelps, Auburn. They make a big difference in our community, so thank you. The other is on Saturday, September 24th, we'll be hosting a child safety seat check at the fire department, 43 West Bear Street. I'd like to thank the Seneca Falls Fire Department for allowing us to host this event there. It's going to be between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And we'll have police officers on hand, both from the Seneca Falls, Waterloo, and possibly the Seneca County Sheriff's Department to help properly install and child safety seats. And we ask that you please bring the child so we can properly fit the seat with the child. Also last month, through the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Board, we were awarded, Seneca Falls Police Department was awarded $1,371 to continue our child passenger safety seat program. That pays for overtime for the officers to be there and checking these seats, other equipment needed for the seat program. And the same month, we were awarded $7,544 through the Governor's Traffic Safety Program for police traffic services. That's for such things as distracted driving, seatbelt, child restraint violations, aggressive driving, speeds. And those are 2 grants that were awarded for us. That also pays for overtime for police officers to be out there enforcing and focusing on these particular events. Last month, we qualified at the Waterloo Rifle and Pistol Club. I'd like to thank the Waterloo Rifle and Pistol Club for their generosity in opening the doors for us. They allow us and other departments to go in and use their range at no cost. We were there multiple days throughout last month qualifying our pistol, revolver, our pistols, rifles, shotguns, tasers, and things like that. So I'd like to publicly thank them. And lastly, I want to remind everybody that school starts tomorrow, and please drive safely, watch for buses, watch for the kids. Everything's going to be a little bit different. So again, we have a reminder out on our Facebook page. Once this report is approved, this will be on our Facebook page as well as it is every month. And again, just please drive carefully with school being in session tomorrow. Thank you.
I know there was an email out there for that TAP grant for safe route to schools. And I sent an email out there saying I'd like to see it. And if there's any other comment, I know Annette sent me an email. I got one from the school. That's going to come up. It's got to be a deadline of September 9th. I don't know if anybody west of the board. I said that that's the only one I got back to me. It was in favor of it. You know, how do we feel about that?
Well, I feel it's always a good grant to go for because it does improve the safety around schools. However, there is a local share of that, and I think it's 20%. And the project, and I'm not sure how much the project costs. I think it's about $1 million, and 20% is $200,000. So we're going to have to figure out between now and September 9th. I think we should go for it, but we have to remember within our budgetary constraints, and that's, what is it, usually about 2 or 3 years out that we have to expend the money, Chief?
Yeah, it's a pretty involved grant, but it's going to dramatically help Katie Stanton, the one that we've applied for and were awarded this past time. Katie Stanton was by far the worst as far as the sidewalks and crosswalks. And, you know, I would encourage the board to apply for the second round of TAP money and help the projects in middle school, high school, and Frank Knight area as well. They're not as bad, but they definitely need some help.
Like, correct, John, when that goes out, we don't know the cost of it. It goes out, and they look at the cost of what the grant would be, then we have to decide on the percentage, that 1% or what it would be. It would come in at, say, $750,000 or $600,000.
Actually, when you apply for the grant, Dave, there is an estimate that's put together. So you put the project scope together, put an estimate to it, that's what you apply for. What you end up getting in grant money depends on what they choose to award. At the time of the award, then you're aware of what your 20% match would be.
So actually, the 20% would be in the next year's budget, probably, right?
If you applied now, you're probably looking at a minimum of 2 years before you'd be doing that particular project. So you'd probably be looking at the 2018 budget at the earliest.
And you got a hold of the grant writers too to talk to them about that, right?
It's not really my grant, it's actually for the board to decide on. I strongly encourage it because I think it's great for our community, but I helped out with it because the last time we applied for it, because it just kind of made sense, but it's actually the town board's decision. It really doesn't have much to do with me other than it's safety related for the kids and such.
Someone want to make a motion on that to ask the grant writers to go ahead with that?
I'd like to make that motion for the grant writers to go on for the TAP grant for safe route to school.
I hear a second on that.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Okay, we'll go for a vote. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Does someone want to volunteer to call the grant writers?
I can take care of it. I think they already know about it. We talked about it yesterday, so that's why I asked you, because she'd already known. So yeah, I can call them tomorrow. Or just call them
Okay,
something
just
else.
make sure they start working on it. They should have the preliminary information
They do.
because it's probably about the same except for, except for the geographic area, it's about the same population-wise.
Mary, let them know that if they need any help to give me a call as well.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll go vote. All in favor of approving the police chief's report?
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Barton and Judas, do you have anything to report on?
Greg, actually, kind of pertains to our discussions about the various infrastructure projects, most of them related to water sewer, but other infrastructure projects, like the Safe Routes to School project and the Bridge Street Bridge, et cetera. But anyway, I guess later on in the meeting, on the agenda is a discussion to set a date up for a public information meeting so that we can give frankly, a detailed presentation of all the infrastructure, the needs, the projects that are underway, what their various status is, and also how that, long-term would affect the residents of Central Falls. So they have a good idea of kind of what's going on now and how that'll affect them over the next few years. So we'll set that date when we get to that point in the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Any other committee reports? Seeing none, we'll go to communications. The communications are listed here. Any discussion on them? Approve the communications.
I make a motion.
Second. I have a second.
I'll second it.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Going on to old business, sale of condominiums and surplus real properties. Pat, you have any information on that?
Just that we did recently publicize a recent request for proposals for 60 State Street. Those proposals are due at the end of this week, and I'm going to suggest and ask the board to have a meeting next week so we can discuss that matter particularly. And at the same time, I'd also like to discuss there's a couple other things we can discuss at that meeting, mostly having to do with the Route 414 sewer line, which would be letter D on the list. So we can do that now, we can do that later, but you're scheduling a meeting before Thursday of next week. So we've got Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
I'm going to be out of town on the 12th and 13th. It's Monday, Tuesday.
Want to schedule that meeting now? I guess it'll have to be on the 14th.
Wednesday's fine by me. Okay.
What time?
I'm good right now. So whatever time, maybe, 6, 7?
6 to move it up a little bit.
6 o'clock?
Yeah.
14.
David, you got that? Thank you. So there'll be a special meeting to discuss the RFPs for 60 State Street.
Yes.
And that'll be on September 14th, Wednesday, September 14th at 6 p.m. Auburn Road Sewer Extension. Any new information on that?
Really, there's not any more news on that, Greg. I might suggest, this has been an old topic, I might suggest that at this point, it be taken off the old business, removed. That'll actually be included in when we give the update on the overall infrastructure projects, et cetera. We'll touch on that phase of it. So my suggestion would be at this point, I think it would be appropriate to take it off the old business.
Okay, that's taken off the list of old business. If the board concurs with that, I don't think we need a vote on that. Okay, Route 414 sewer line transfer from IDA to town.
I would ask that it would also be a topic to discuss at the 14th meeting next week.
That's, okay, we can discuss that, but we'll have to discuss that in the public while we discuss the sale
Oh,
of
yes.
60 State Street.
Yeah, well, that can be.
Will be an executive session.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you have an announcement. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Otherwise, that's, at this point, I don't believe there would be any reason for an executive session for that sewer.
Okay, good.
Get everybody signed off.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about.
C,
Yeah,
missed that right
and
off?
then, yeah, I would ask that that be carried over till next month.
Okay. Police Department convert email to Office 365. What have we decided on that, Chief? It escapes me. Talk.
Well, I think we're waiting on IT to help us out with that.
Okay.
I think we have a new building IT. I'd like to have him take a look at it and maybe help us out with that in the future.
I think that's the last talk. If he was familiar with that 365 and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I would like something to happen soon, so I'll get with Steve and maybe we can figure something out, but we got to do something soon. This has been about a year and a half of issues here.
Okay, and for those of you who don't know, Steve and his Stonebolt IT office is going to be running the lines and working with us very closely on hooking up our new building on Ovid Street. So, Steve, I guess you got your work cut out for you over the next few months. And, we look forward to working with you. At the annual renewal for the SMI permit,
We talked about this briefly last month, and right now, as I advised the board at that time, I think that this should, we are right now actively negotiating a new host community agreement, if that's one path the board is considering. As I advised last month, I think this should be held until we have a new agreement going forward.
so you're advising us to take no action on that, and just keep it on the table as we did last month?
Correct.
Okay. Under new business, approval of special events, I don't believe there are any tonight. Where am I correct? No? Okay, thank you. Recreation Committee. So, there's a special reminder for the department heads. Budgets are due September 20th, 2016. And now we have to set a date for a public informational meeting on water and sewer. And although I'd like to discuss that, it doesn't necessarily have to be made in September, but it should be made within a reasonable amount of time. So does anyone want to come up with a date on a public informational meeting on water and sewer infrastructure?
Okay, so what night of the week works best?
Could we throw out Wednesday, October 12th?
We could throw out Wednesday, October 12th.
How's that sound, everybody?
Are you throwing that out? You don't want that?
No, I'm proposing it, excuse me. Kind of tossing it out, I
Okay.
should say. Not out the window.
Okay. Yes,
Would 7 o'clock be okay?
Sure.
Okay, let's do, if it's okay with everybody?
7 p.m.
Yep, 7 p.m. on October 12th.
Okay, so an informational meeting on infrastructure, specifically water and sewer, in the town of Seneca Falls will be held on Wednesday, October 12th at 7 p.m. Contribution for It's a Wonderful Life Committee, and I believe, was that $4,000 in the budget? Okay, so I have a motion for that.
I'll make that motion that we give the $4,000 to the Wonderful Life Committee.
I have a second.
I'll second.
I have any discussion on that? Seeing none, we'll go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next motion, and I'll make this a motion to appoint Phil Griswold as part-time assessor, until which time we hire a new full-time assessor for the town of Seneca Falls. Do I have a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to appoint Phil Griswold part-time town assessor.
Do I have a second?
Second it.
Discussion. In speaking with Mr. Griswold, he has said that he would do that free of cost, until which time we find a new assessor. And so that was very nice of him. He's the assessor for Ovid, I believe?
Junie.
Okay.
And maybe in the town or two. He also stepped in, last time we found ourselves without an assessor. He did a great job for the town, and I'm glad to see that he's stepping in again.
So a very big thank you and kudos goes to Mr. Griswold for stepping up. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Number F, create a line item A21D for the DARE program. Chief, you want to speak a little bit about that? You sent out
Sure,
that
yeah,
memo
absolutely.
today.
So what this line item would be created for with board approval, we're talking with Bev Warfel, is that when we get a check, such as one from Generations Bank, we buy the books, we have money left over, we want to put that in a fund so we can use it for other DARE-related items. And if it's not used within that year, we want it to carry over from year to year to continue to build and be able to use it for DARE-related items only. And without having the specific line item created, at the end of the year, that money would be put into the general fund. So these are donations specifically for DARE-related items that we want to put in a special fund like this, so then they carry over and continue to build for us.
I would make a motion to create a line item A201D for the DARE program.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, we're going to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Are there any water and sewer credits? Oh. I'm going to 7 now. I make a motion to pay the bills.
Second it.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
I'll make the motion to go into executive session.
Okay.
Talk about our host agreement.
So, it's litigation.
Litigation.
Okay. Do I have a second on that? I'll second it. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Didn't finish discussion. Is this just with our lawyers?
Yes. I would ask, yeah, for Mr. Howe to come into that session. Okay, Mr. Howe, Mr. Condino invited to that session. And, pardon me? Pardon me?
Mr. Howe is an attorney with the firm of Boyle and Code out of Rochester. He's been working with the town in relation to issues regarding the landfill.
And Mr. Baker, if you want, if you could stay, and and then once we get into executive session, if we don't need you, we can excuse you from there, okay? So, motion is to go into executive session, inviting Mr. Howe, Mr. Condino, and Mr. Baker. Okay, we voted on that?
Yeah.
Okay. We didn't vote on that.
No, we didn't.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay.
I had my questions, yeah, you guys.
Motion was first and second
Discussion.
discussion. And all those deferring to the press?
Expect to take any action.
We might take some action after the meeting, I'm not sure, after the executive session, yes. And the key word is might, okay? So, yeah, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, we're in executive session.